My name is Friedman. I'm a professor of architecture at McGill University. I'm here to present two projects that were designed by my team around affordable housing in North Cowichan and in Chemainus. And what we will do in the coming minutes is we will walk through the boards and we'll explain their content. One of the things that guided us when we started is to understand the makeup of the community in which we work. We collected a range of data, range of information that helps us know what is the demography of the place, what is the housing situation in that community. We also looked at affordability, how much people can afford, and we investigated and we studied the zoning of that community. This provided us information that enabled us to make some very important decisions at the beginning. Once we gather all the data, all the information about the community, we built up a table where we demonstrated how much people can afford based on their income. We determined how much money people can afford to buy if they put down 25% down payment, as well as what kind of unit they will be able to buy. Another important element that we looked into was the location of this community, of the sites, for the purpose of creating designs that are energy efficient. In other words, take opportunity of, say, the sun and blocking wind on the site. An important feature of our work was sustainability. What we have recognized that what we are doing is not designing affordable housing, but contributing to the municipality's sustainability. For us, sustainability include the four pillars: economy, culture, society, and environment. And we recognize that it is important to create mutual support system, understanding that establishing self-sufficient, sustainable process is important, and then look into lifestyle condition of the design. So it's not short-term, it's a long-term view. The two sites are located in Chemainus, and what one may call an infill sites. One is the Chemainus Elementary, you can see it here, near the new school, and the other one is the Humbert site, located on a forested area near existing homes. And our solution addressed some of the concerns that are expressed in this board, and I will talk about them in a moment. Let's start with the Chemainus site. We documented and we have photographs of the site from every angle, and what we attempted to do is address the existing condition and understand and explain how the roads and how all the access ways to that site work. This was a very important element in our work. So there is here a display of many images of that site from a variety of angles. What we attempted to do is to set several programmatic decisions that included reduction of the dominance of parking levels. We didn't want to see large or many parking garages. We wanted to create community that have active lifestyle, place for people to gather, semi-social spaces. We wanted to introduce shared street, mixed dwelling types, and also sustainable feature. In the work, we introduce many alternatives. Some of the things that you will see here are very selected, they are selected alternatives, but for each solution, we introduce many more options for the municipality to select from. What I would like to introduce now is some of the solutions. In general, we varied the type of housing and we varied their densities. This is the lowest density for the Chemainus Elementary. In this design, there are 26 dwellings. we created a meandering road that connects Severn Street with Elliott Street, with outdoor parking. Having indoor parking will make them very expensive. And what we did was created that meandering road. You can see here how the homes, be them detached or semi-detached, will have a wonderful view of that particular street. This is another solution for the Chemainus Elementary. Here we have, this is a public street that is shared one. People can walk, but also emergency vehicle can travel to that road, a play area, more play area, and in all the solution, we created green buffer. We buffer between the projects and the neighboring home. And you can see here an image of neighboring homes behind. In this solution, we have about 53 dwellings because some of them are higher density, like duplexes and triplexes. In this solution, we use what we call walk-ups. These are low-rise apartment buildings. They are framed aside. There is a green buffer between the existing and the new. And they are, once again, defining a large public space. Behind those homes, there will be play spaces, much like the one that you see here. In this solution, the density increases to 96. But this is, again, apartment buildings. This is another solution. In this one, we created the road, and there are places to look into as you walk. So the people will drive from, say, Elliott Road. They will park on the edge of the community, and they will walk from either here or here into their units. There are more units here, and we feel that this has a wonderful feel to it with people standing and being able to use those spaces as social ones for community gathering. For me, for us, building affordable housing does not mean just reduction of cost. What we try very hard to do is to build a community. And sustainability, as I mentioned earlier, is an important feature. What we looked into as key sustainable features, which are, say, shared street. Some of them, those ones can get solar powered in the future. We see the possibility in some of them to have recycling center, public art, places for people to grow their own food, vegetable, as you can see here, as well as places for people to be active. So all these elements can eventually be integrated in such a place in a final plan for their design. So there are many features that form sustainability in that community. The Humbert site is unique in a sense that it has forested areas. There are trees, some of them are mature, you can say, and the challenges, as you can see from this picture, it's really very green. The challenge in the design of this place was to introduce solutions that keep as much of the forest we can. And some of them are articulated here. Like the Chemainus Elementary site, we also set a few targets. One of them was to create a forest preservation. We wanted to keep as many trees as possible. Here too, introduce opportunities for active mobility, allow spaces for urban agriculture and social gathering and so on. We offer diverse type of dwelling. And as you can see here, we came up with some guidelines that document how the forest can be maintained, how you can combine between housing and forested land. And some of these principles are explained here. For the Humbert site, we introduced 12 options. There are main option and then there are variation of these options. And the idea is to offer good alternative and opportunities to the community to select from. This is the lowest density, and as you can see, we placed home. We kept trees in the perimeter and in between the houses. We created a path that people can walk. The main area will be permeable, and you can see here there will be wonderful opportunities for people to gather at the end at the cul-de-sac, which we turn into a feature. In this solution, in this alternative, we can call this and a few others that are coming the cluster solution. You can see that we cluster them together. We created created outdoor parking in between. We created variety of densities. So some of the units here are single family, but we also have two family duplexes, for example. But a basic idea is to cluster home in a few pockets, have a main street that is accessible, straight, and will not consume a lot for infrastructure. And this is how walk along this place can be. This is a cluster design, another cluster, and as you can see here, there is Main Street, and there are common areas around which people can gather. This can be a play space for kids, places for people to get together, and there are fewer parking areas here, and they are all arranged to accommodate the people who live. So people drive, they park, and they walk to their spaces. This is how such common space may look like. Here too, we have created features. We introduced feature of sustainable communities. We looked into, once more, recycling and composting. We looked into shared streets. We look into opportunity to introduce bioswales. We wanted to create a place with high performance. It was extremely important to us to introduce sustainable materials. So it is not only about affordability. If you follow a sense of or have idea about sustainable communities, the housing can be more than just provide living opportunity for people. And all the options that make those places sustainable are listed here. The houses that we propose are purposely made simple to build, and the space in them was made highly efficient. We recognize that affordable does not mean cheap. In other words, if you follow certain principles in design, you will get beautiful community, good-looking community, and it will not be too complicated to build because of the rationale of building them. If you place the bathrooms on top of each other, it will be much simpler to build rather than spread them around. Those principles and how the houses look have been included or embedded in the design of such place. And this is the smallest units. This is one of the smallest units, which is the single family units. This is the duplex, the two-family unit. In other words, in such design, one person uses the lower level and the mid-level and the lower level, and the other one walk up into the second floor. What we have done here too is create a wonderful opportunity for people to be comfortable in this place. This, of course, will be much cheaper because the land and the infrastructure and the structure itself is shared between two people. This is the triplex unit. We suggested that this house, this design, can house 3 families. And one will live in the lower level, another one in the mid-level, and then in the upper level. It is even more affordable because the infrastructure and all the costs are shared between 3 families. So this will be extremely affordable unit. We looked into that one, and we created a kitchen. Kitchen will have a choice, and we looked into the design as well. This is a walk-up unit, and in this design, we have main stairs. You walk up those half flight of stairs, and you have apartment on either side. You can walk another flight of stairs, and you have another option where entire floor. This is for a large family. And this is the solution, this is one of the solutions that we contemplated and suggested for Chemainus Elementary. So this is the walk-up space, and it is one of our favorite units that make the space area denser and more affordable.